All right, good morning, top performers. This is our final session together for top performers, and it's going to put everything together for you so that you can truly become a deliberate creator and have the thriving businesses that you desire. And so it's the path to all of your desires and the answer to everything on, how does life work, that it's really an emotional journey. And so we're going to be talking about that today. But before we do, I wanted to just review it being our last time on just our journey together and where we've been. And so we started out with looking at the different areas that we think in, and especially with that committee, that little committee in our mind that is fear and worry and doubt and complaining and guilt and shame and all of those things that really, if there's any devil, that's the devil, and the only enemy that any of us have is ourselves, and it's within our own thinking. And so there's only well-being. We talked about that. And one of the laws, one of the way life is that only well-being flows. This morning I was out doing my Joy Shop, which I would encourage all of you. That was our first success and step in order to lead us to our desires, is by creating life the way that you want it. And this morning I was doing my Joy Shop and stating on how I wanted my day to work out. And as I was doing that, I was noticing the clouds just drifting through the blue sky. It was just magnificent. And then I look out and there's this eagle, and it's this eagle just flying gracefully and easily, without a worry, without a concern, just enjoying this beautiful, beautiful planet Earth. And so I would encourage all of you to go there for a moment. And I actually was there with that eagle, just feeling so free and feeling at ease and just love flying. And you're flying. You're in this beautiful journey with flying thoughts and flying feelings, and you can direct them any way that you want to. And I'm going to share with you before, again, we get into this is going to be all about your emotional intelligence and your EQ. There's IQ, which is intelligent quotient, which all of you have a high enough intelligent quotient to become anything that you want. The key is to have this emotional quotient, this EQ. And so we're going to talk about EQ, and you're going to be able to see the different scales of resistant thinkings and emotions that occur, that get you, again, the lack and limitation and get you what you don't want, versus the allowing thoughts and emotions that get you what you want. And so one of the things that I wanted to share with you today is, again, we leave this formal session of top performers together, and then you're all invited to join my platinum coaching program, which takes people to a whole new level. And this is kind of like the first start, if you will, on taking you to that next level. And but I wanted to share with you on how we talked about the Joy Shop and pre-paving your day. We talked about prioritizing your life last week, about pre-paving your month. And one of the things I would encourage you to do is, we're coming up on June here, and to make sure that you pre-pave your month. But I want you to really become a deliberate creator in a greater way. And I'd like you to write this down, and that is that I'd like you to pre-pave every major experience during the day that you're entering into. So every segment of the day that you're going. So let's say that before this session, that you want to be joyful all the time. You want to get the most out of everything. So before this session, by you stating that, wow, today is going to be the day of my enlightenment. I'm going to better understand life. I'm going to better be a deliberate creator than ever, that I'm going to give myself permission to allow myself to go beyond where I have ever felt before, where I have ever thought before, where I have ever dreamed before. And when you just pause and take that, usually about 1 minute, we'll get the energy going for it, that then the universe will deliver to you more of what you were asking and go beyond your wildest expectations. And moving forward with that, so let's say now after this enlightening session that we're in, that let's say you're going to go drive someplace. And so you would pre-pave and just take your time, slow down, stop doing, is remember what you get is do that way. And, you know, the more that we are pushing hard and fighting and needing to have to do something, the further away we actually get to what we are, and it's the rough road, it's the struggle of life that you don't have to be on. And so let's say that the next thing is you're driving. So then you say to yourself, wow, I just love that I drive safely, that it's smooth, the driving, that the traffic just flows, that I enjoy myself, that I'm thinking new thoughts as I'm enjoying myself driving, that I'm paying attention and I'm alert to my driving, and but I see just wonderful things, whether it be the nature in some way, the trees or the sky, or just all the abundance that there is, all the air that there is. I just love to drive, and how easy it is, and how well my vehicle is, and how just the best music is on, or the best information if you're listening to like my MP3s or whatever, that I just love that it's all just so inspiring. And by doing that, that you call it, you literally call it, and you're becoming now a deliberate creator. And so you call it the way you want it. And then let's say you're going to an appointment. And so no matter how that client, so let's say you're going to a client that is looking to buy a home. And let's say that client before has been ornery, hasn't been agreeable, has kind of been an uphill battle the whole time, that it doesn't matter what was or what is. If I think of that, about that person that way, they'll just become that more and more of that person. So what I want to do is I want to pre-pave it the way I want. So you're just about there. You're driving smoothly, eloquently. Everything is just fun and easy, and you're on time. You arrive. Again, things for you to say is that you'll arrive refreshed and alert and bright and happy and feeling good. And then you're going to start seeing that these things that you start telling yourself, they're going to start happening true in every episode in your life, in every segment of your life, that from here on forward. But you have to be deliberate. Otherwise, you're going to get life by default. So right before you get to that destination, which you know now that you're going to arrive refreshed and bright and feeling good, and on time, or even maybe a little early, everything is easy, and that then you start pre-paving that next episode, and you say, yeah, what am I going to do now that, you know, this buyer is going to be just wonderful. They're going to be motivated. They're going to be uplifting. They're going to be in a good mood. They're going to take my counsel, and they're going to make a quick decision, an easy decision, and they're going to purchase the home of their dreams. And that everything's just going to be great, and they're going to love me, and in fact, they're going to even give me more than I asked for. Like, they're going to give me a referral. If you start saying those things, it'll start happening for you. And again, stay general on it. Like, if you don't believe that this person will give you a referral, you can't say it because it's done onto you as you believe, that we, you know, went through that success unit. And again, this time, this whole session is just going to put this all together for you so neatly in a package to where you're going to recognize that, yeah, you're a deliberate creator, that well-being only flows, and that you call it the way that you want it. And when you call it so, that cooperative components, the third law, cooperative components come. It's called the law of attraction, and you are a magnet. And so you're a magnet. Whatever your thoughts are go to your feelings, and those feelings send out the signal. And then though that signal, all cooperative components go around it and happen in your life. And you guys have proved that we have had just amazing. We have literally had millions of incremental new business come out of Top Performers with this session of Virtual Top Performers. That we have had new referral partners out of the blue. I remember Stephen, I think he was in, I think Mexico on a beach someplace, whatever, but he was telling me, yeah, he just had an amazing time where he got a referral into somebody from Florida, and that, it's just great. He's getting this business and getting these referrals, and that when you have faith, and if you want to talk about faith in God, it is having faith that what you've asked for is coming to you, and just relax and let it in. It's going to come in. So again, in Success Unit 1, we talked about, in our first facilitation, we talked about living in that green zone and being deliberate. And so now I've shared with you that you have some real hands-on things in order to be deliberate and create the life that you want. And that is through the Joy Shop. That is through, yeah, Allison says that's awesome. Yeah, that it's through your Joy Shop. It is through your monthly planning and you being deliberate. And now the third key that we delivered today is that you're going to deliberately, in every segment of your life, that you're going to start creating it the way you want it. And you're going to see just amazing and wonderful things coming together. And I already pre-paved this, that you guys would be enlightened today and recognize your magnificence and just the power of what you're blossoming into now, and to realize that you have it, that you're it, that you can cast abundance upon your life, and you're now going to do that. And that is the casting, if you will. Consider yourself a fisher person, a fisherman, fisherwoman, that you're fishing, you're casting out, and you're casting out abundance now, whether it be for your whole day, whether it be for your whole month, or whether it be for your next experience, the next episode in your life during the day, that you create it the way you want it. And so today now is the path to all your desires, and it's an emotional path. That we have thought that we had to do a lot of things and it was a doing path, but in fact that is not the case. That it is an emotional path for us, and that I am just, my computer locks up every time on me when I do that. Let's see here. There we go. So our agenda. So let's take a look at our agenda. And this is going to be just a magnificent, just expect this to be an eye-opener for you, to where you say, oh my God, I'm really getting this now, and I understand how life works. So first of all, understand that all your desires are manifested emotionally. This is an emotional universe. That you are a vibrational being. And again, we know, like, for example, on how our cells are little atoms and they're all moving, and there's more space within our body than there is density. And so, but it's a little tough for us to see, because like right now I'm on a marble table and I'm knocking on a marble table, and it sure doesn't seem like there's more space there. But what that is that it's just condensed thought and emotions, and with enough emotion that it makes things, and it creates for us, it creates our experience. So we are vibrational, and that our thoughts create that vibration. And we then recognize that there are vibrations that bring you what you don't want. And those are resistant thoughts about your good, about what you can do. That there are no limits, ladies and gentlemen. There are no limits for you. There are no boundaries, but you have to give yourself permission to open yourself up to the life that you have always dreamed of, to the things that you want. And then there are vibrations that bring you what you do want. And we're going to talk about this scale of emotion, of the vibrations, on the signals that you're sending out to source and all that is, and they're responding. Every time they're immediately responding to what you're, and depending on how strong those emotions are, depends how fast it comes into your experience. So if you're really mad, you're going to create more anger really quickly. But if you're really happy and feeling good, all the things that you have asked for that you do want will come to you. So it is not this intensive, work hard, struggle world that you never know what happens, that you know all the time what's going to happen when you prepave it. And when sometimes you don't understand why something happened, just have belief that it's for your good. Whether it's something physically happens to you, whether something in a relationship happens to you, whether something in your business, in your real estate business happens to you, that know that it's all for good. And the good that it's creating is it's creating these new desires of what you want. You would not have birth desires if you didn't have stuff happen, what I call contrast, happen in your life, that you wouldn't have those new desires, and thus you couldn't have new dreams, and thus you couldn't have a better life. So this is the path, the emotional path to you and your better life. So the next steps then we're going to talk about that will take you beyond your current imagination. And that your imagination for you about how life works, for what your future is going to bring, that you have not even dreamed yet on how great it's going to be, how awesome it's going to be. And I'm going to share with you on how you're going to be able to expand your imagination, expand your feelings, expand your thought, so that you can actually create everything in your experience that you have desired. And so it's just amazing. All your dreams can come true. And literally, I have this happen all the time with people. And let me give you one example of someone that I'm coaching with one-on-one. And I started coaching with her a month ago. And basically her business was, she wasn't doing any business. At the time, she had zero business. And after our first coaching session, 2 weeks later, she came back and she was actually in tears. She was so miserable that she was having problems with her teenage daughter. She didn't have a significant other. Her business was just a shambles. And I spoke with her and shared with her that to make a decision right then to give up this struggle, to give up her resistant thoughts, to stop feeling bad, to stop going to the pity party, and to instead start living the life that she wanted. And she decided, and I said, because what else do you have to lose? And I want you to ask yourself this, that what else do you have to lose on that? Why not go ahead and give yourself permission to expand your dreams, to expand your imagination, to go beyond where your thought currently has been? Why not do that? And what do you have to lose? And in her situation, she had such negative contrast, such bad contrast, if you will, that she finally just gave up and said, I'm done with it. And I'm going to start just feeling good. And so I'm committed to feeling good. So 2 weeks after that, so that was yesterday, I meet with her. And she is bubbling over. And I read people's vibration, whether they're on their phone or in person or whatever. I can read their vibration and know, whether or not they're vibrating on the things that they do want, they're feeling good, or if they're not. And actually, you can all pick that up too. It's just that we have gotten so used to thinking about we got to hear what people are saying, or we think about who the person is, and then we just hear what we think that they're going to say to us anyways, instead of just letting all that go and just reading where they are right now and reading their vibration, because all of us are emotional. So this lady, her name is Esther, that Esther came to me and she said, just the world has opened up for her, that her daughter is getting better because she started just loving unconditionally her daughter instead of making up all these damn rules, as she called it. She said, yeah, I keep on making up all these rules. And so she belongs to a Hispanic Catholic church, and out of the blue, a guy from a radio station, a small little Hispanic Catholic radio station, comes up to her and says, listen, I'd like to have you advertise on my radio station. And, Esther says, I don't know anything about advertising. I don't know anything about radio, and I don't have any money. And he said, you know what? No problem about the money, that I want to advertise you. I think you're going to really find a lot of success. Now, most people would have resistant thoughts about that, because if you know anything about how the odds are and everything about radio, that, well, radio takes a long time. You have to spend a lot of money. You have to be repetitive. You have to be in it for months before you get anything. And that she didn't have any of those thoughts, because she just started allowing the goodness of life to flow to her. So she said, sure. So the guy makes up, they talk a little about the commercial, and then the guy makes this commercial, and the first week she gets 3 referrals. The next week, another 3 referrals, and when I say referrals, they're actually referrals that came to her now that are business that's going to be closed. She right now has 5 contracts to include 2 listings, 3 buyers, and all with contracts and working on a 6th one. And it's just amazing. And she said, it just came out of the blue. Like everything is changing in my life. And that's what's going to happen to you when you start allowing the goodness of life to come in. Quit making up these rules about you have to be this certain way, or you don't know how to do it. Remember, how is not your job. Now you understand that you just need to think about what you want and why you want it. And that's all Esther did, is thought about her daughter being harmonious, uplifting, and them being best friends, and her showing unconditional love, and her daughter giving unconditional love back to Esther. That Esther just started thinking about, I love that my business is thriving now, that I'm making lots of money. So she went overnight to making a 6-figure income. Now you may say, well, where does 6-figure, where does over 100,000 come from? Well, she gets another source, and it just so happened to be me, that I have a lender that is giving away, it basically has money that in a private bank, and wants to help a certain population called ITIN, an ITIN population, and they have about $500,000 a month to give away, and they have the buyers already. They just need a real estate agent. And so I gave that opportunity to her, and if you work up the numbers, that opportunity alone is over $100,000 in income from her, and it all just came out of the blue. Like, to me, for this opportunity that I gave to her, that I actually make money on this also. And so you'll see that as you make money, that everybody else is making money too. And so that's why money is so good. Like, money is just, wow, I want to allow more and more money to me. So those are real live examples, like, that just happened yesterday. So this stuff happens all the time. And in my life and with the people that I coach, it happens all the time, and it can happen to you too. You have the power. And again, this next session now is going to help you to understand all that. So first of all, to recognize that you're a vibrational being. Maybe another way, a softer way of putting that, is you're an emotional being. You have emotions. It's all about your emotions. When I ask you, how do you communicate with your creator, with your source, with God? And if you've been listening, which I know you have, that your communication system is through emotions with your source. Your source doesn't come down and give you English or Spanish or whatever. That your source communicates to you through emotions. So you are an emotional being, and you are an extension of source energy, an extension of this emotional source that most of us call God. So everything is energy, and it's this loving, well-being energy. You are energy. And to recognize this, and again, this is different than what you have thought, and one of the reasons why I want you to listen to this session is going to enlighten you, and it's going to awaken you to the magnificence of what these words are doing and how they're impacting your mind, your heart, and your soul to start recognizing the truth of who you are. So we create and direct this energy with our thoughts. That's how magnificent we are, that we create and direct energy with our thoughts. So that's why I started out in Success Unit 1 being intentional and living in the green zone with our thoughts, because that's how the whole process initiates. And I'm going to show you the other side today of how creation is created with the help of your source. But know, as you start everything, as you create and you direct that energy with your thoughts. So there is energy in whatever you're thinking about. It creates the energy to give you more thoughts, more circumstances, events, people, situations that are going to come to you just out of the blue, just like it happened with Esther. And this thriving business became overnight, within 2 weeks, went from hell to heaven. And that you have the power that, and so I'm assuming that most of you have shared with me that you're not in that struggle mode per se, but all of us have some of those struggles, and we can just let that go and give ourselves permission to have, be, and do everything that we want to do. So our source communicates with us through our feelings. And to recognize the power of that you are never alone. Okay, we don't die alone. We never die. Die is just a misunderstanding that I had on Monday. We had within my circle of sphere of influence that I had, we had 2 babies born, and one what I call birthing into eternity, and so most people would call death. And one of the babies that was born is in the same family on where the woman, the aunt, transitioned into and was rebirthed back into eternity. And so I was talking to this person, the mother and the daughter, about this situation, and for them to celebrate both of it. It's the alpha to the omega, that it's just beautiful birth and it's beautiful transition back into and birth back into eternity. And when you start looking, and when you can look at life that way and recognize there is only life, that you'll just give it up. Like, I don't have any fears of dying per se. I know that I'm not going to die, that I'm just going to do it over again or whatever, that it's all good and it's all fun. And so thus, we can just lighten up about everything. Nothing's a big deal. And catch this, you're never ever going to get it done. You're going to always continue to expand. That's why you are so critical with this whole universe, because you expand everything with your thought. And by having this contrast, birthing these desires, you are doing God's will. And you're expanding thought, and you're expanding, importantly, emotions, what it's really all about. The underlining theme of everything is this energy, this emotion. And so our source communicates with us through this emotion. And you know how easy it is. When I'm feeling good, it means I'm thinking as my source does. When I'm feeling bad, it means the opposite. So when I feel bad, I want to think away from it. When I feel good, I want to milk it. So today, when I was sitting out on my porch and I was asking to just expand my imagination and my thoughts and my feelings, and I asked to become one with Source and to feel that fullness and that oneness, and I start to look out that I'm guided now. I allow myself to be guided by Source, and I look through the eyes of Source, through my eyes, and I look out, and as I see those beautiful white cotton ball clouds, and I see that the blue sky behind that I just feel so at one, so relaxed, knowing I'm just all one with this well-being. And then as I see this eagle just soaring gracefully in the air, and me imagining my freedom as my freedom like this eagle without a care in the world, that I emerged myself right into this place that most would call heaven. So I want you to think about that, wow, you can live in heaven right here on earth. And just close your eyes and you imagine yourself being that bird free, that eagle, powerful and strong, with endless amount of space of air to fly through and around, and just all the beauty. There's plenty of food. There's plenty of everything. There's plenty of, for us, money, that it's a means for our freedom. And so we love it. So when I was in that spot, I milked it. And so I want you to think about how you want to milk it on that whenever you're feeling good, to milk that feeling and just keep it coming. Because as you do, you align yourself up with Source and all the things that you have asked for. So understand this, that Source, God, this energy, this love energy, that it understands where you are, where you want to be, and it knows the path on how to get there. And that path is the path of least resistance. It's downstream. And so if you want to get on your lighted path, it's all a matter of you feeling good. And again, just embrace this and realize the importance of you feeling good aligns you with your Source and takes you to this place of oneness, and takes you, and as you continue to milk it, since Source knows everything that you have asked for and everything you desire, as you're in that place of feeling good, all of the business will come to you. All of the good relationships will come to you. All of the good health will come to you. Everything that you have asked for will flow powerfully, easily, and consistently to you as you feel good. So cherish those moments of feeling good, and those moments will start to become longer and longer. And pretty soon you're going to have, a couple hours of feeling good, a half a day of feeling good, and pretty soon you're going to be feeling good all the time. And when contrast comes, and I'll give you a vivid example on what happened with me. You want to talk about contrast, that this was, 4 weeks ago, and I think I mentioned it briefly last time. But I literally found myself, I have excellent health. I'm getting younger every day. I keep on saying I just love being healthier and younger every day. And I feel great, okay? I'm 60 years old, and I feel like I'm 17 years old. And I'm viral and energetic and feel good and alert and all those things. But I created that. Okay, I created that with my thoughts, and that's what I asked for, and then Source came to it. However, I then had this contrast of, I was in the emergency room with my intestine literally coming out of my belly, twisting. And again, infants normally get this. And so I've been asking to be younger, and I guess I'm an infant in that. But I was in just in the emergency room, in the top 10 rooms they have for the most traumatic, and I'm in the number one room, just in extreme pain. You can literally die from this. And you know what I'm thinking while I'm going, help me, and everything, that I'm saying, help me to my angels. I'm just calling source. And I know with all of my heart that this is just so great, because I'm not only going to be good and healthy, but this is going to birth me to new desires of greater health. So I stand here today with better health than I've ever had. And it's all because I had this contrast. So I don't hang my hat on this contrast and Facebook to everybody about, oh, poor me, and I was all in all this pain, and it's just awful. And I didn't have any of those thoughts. I was grateful the whole time. I appreciated every moment of it, knowing that it was going to lead to something better, and it did. And that's where you can just start loving life and loving it the way you want it. So, desires are manifested emotionally, and we're going to take a look at a couple of those on how that is. One of the three laws for you to embrace, and why I continue to remember listening to it, at least being exposed to these ideas at least 6 times, will help you to accept and understand and realize. And today is your day of recognizing that you're a leading edge creator. That for you to recognize that your thoughts create an emotion and a vibration, that your emotions then send this signal to your source then answers in energy form every time, all the time. Ask and you shall receive. And so this is how life works. And when you ask and expect it emotionally, you will have it. This last point is all you need. I'm going to ask for it. I want a thriving business, and I expect a thriving business. Nice, easy. And I'd even write down right now that I am gentle and soft. It's this subtle place to be emotionally on expectancy, where you just expect it. Now, when you ask, your desire, you want to have that powerful desire, and really, yes, I want a thriving business. I want a great marriage. I want a super relationship with my child. That I want good health. That all those things, those are powerful, and that you want to ask. But when you expect it, you just expect it. And we talked about ABE, A for allow, B for believe it, and then E, expect it. That this is all you need to ask and then expect it, and emotionally. And so it's this expectation of, I feel so good. I feel so carefree. I feel so confident and sure that what I have asked for is coming. We have talked about referral partners, and then I want you to ask for referral partners. And Allison and I were talking before we started our session today, and she was sharing on how she thought she kind of had referral partners. I said, well, who are they? And she said her friends. And exactly that, referral partners, that's it. It is your friends. They're all your friends. They're people that like you, that embrace you. And that for every person knows actually about 250 people. And but let's just use a nice round number, 200 people, and about 12 people out of every 100 people are interested in buying or selling a house. So every person has 24 leads for you. They may not know about it, but as you talk to them and consistently, and this is a formalized partnership that you have with your referral partners, where every couple of weeks you touch base with them. You say, hey, I really appreciate that referral. Wanted to give you a follow-up that I know, and share with them. Listen, this is how it is. At least 200 people. Every 100 people, there's 12 people that are interested in buying or selling a home. And so you really know 24 people. Now, I'd like you to attract it and maybe tell them a little about what you're learning here, that you're a magnet, and tell your referral partner, you're a magnet. Whatever you think about, you're going to start attracting. Could you please use some of that awesome, powerful magnetism that you have to attract a couple of people that are buying or selling their homes for me. And why would they want to do that? Because they benefit. They're going to help their friends, their family, their clients, their fellow work employees. They're going to help whoever they know. They're going to help because they're going to give them to you. And you are sincere, and you are honest, and you are a master at real estate. It doesn't matter how new you are, how it is your desire that you desire to serve them well. That's all you need. And so just use that desire, that I have the desire to serve them well, and thus I will. And I'll attract all the people, thoughts, circumstances in order to get those people the perfect house, or in order to attract the perfect buyer for these people. And when you start calling it the way you want it, your business the way you want it, I'm going to attract out of the blue now. I asked for the universe, and I'm asking for it, and now I expect, in order to have out of the blue referral partners, out of the blue listings, out of the blue buyers, and that's what I want. That, back to Esther, that with Esther, I said, Esther, buyers are kind of upstream. I mean, they're good in everything for business, but, selling a home is really downstream, and maybe something you want to interest. And she goes, oh, I never, list homes. And I said, why don't you think about that? And that was, again, a month ago that I talked to her about that. And then 2 weeks ago, we established and she said, yeah, I'd like to attract a couple of listings. And that's how many out of those 5 deals she has, 3 are buyers and 2 are listings. Exactly what she asked for. And it came out of the blue. She could have never figured that out. Those are the cooperative components. That is all that is helping you. That is God that is helping you to give you whatever you want. But if you have resistant thoughts, and if you don't expect it emotionally, you're never going to get it. Remember the 5 steps to creation. First step is for you to ask your thought. And then that goes right into emotion. Okay, your emotion, that signal then goes to step 3, your source answers. And step 4 is for you to expect it to happen. And step 5 is manifest. So you only need to do 2 things, and it's right there. Ask and expect it emotionally. So we're going to start out and looking at the emotional scale of what you don't want. So negative emotion will tell you that you are not thinking about this properly. You're looking at this differently than God is. And what is this? Any subject. That when you're not thinking good about it, that it automatically tells you you're not thinking about the way that God is. And I'm going to share with you that I have, again, a personal experience so that you just realize, wow, this is real. This happens every day, and you can create it the way you want it. That I have this one I'll call business partner that when I talked to my wife Sharon about this business partner, she goes, oh my gosh, a business partner is just, really rough and tough, and I just do a little business with them, but and she said, oh, and they're just, not going to be very helpful for you and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, I don't want any of that. And that, what do I want? And so then I started thinking about what I do want, and this person just, literally turned around and was so supportive and so loving and so great the next day, because I recognized what I wanted. And I recognized first, though, that what my wife was sharing with me, and that she got that influence because I was sharing some circumstances with her. So man, that's what I was thinking, and it's not what I wanted. And so I started thinking differently, and that's why the beauty is you have the power to, everybody has alpha to the omega in them. And what do you want to see? You want to see in this emotional scale what you don't want, ornery people? You're going to go to the ornery island. So if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, if you wake up ornery, if you don't prepay it, the moment that I become conscious when I wake up in bed, then I immediately think, oh, today's going to be so great. I am just going to love it. It's going to be exciting, and I'm going to feel good all day long. And then I just sit in that, and I stand in the place of, even though I'm laying down, I stand in the place of this is how I want it. And that's how I start my day. But if you start your day, oh, I'm not feeling very good, and then you're going to continue to not feel good, and you're going to get even worse because there is no judgment that God's going to deliver to you whatever you're thinking about. And so for you to awaken and say, hey, I'm going to start feeling good. This is how I want it to be. But back to when I'm feeling the emotions of what I don't want, it's God telling you you're off track, that you aren't on your path other than the path to hell. Okay? And so none of us want to be on that path. And that you're cutting yourself off to the resources that you want. That no matter what situation is, that if you start looking for the good, you're going to start seeing the good. It's like looking through Source's eyes, okay? When you ask to start looking through, to start sensing through, to start thinking through Source, to start feeling through Source, then you're going to start seeing the good in life. And the things that disturb you just aren't going to be there anymore. They're not there. Like I don't turn on the TV and watch the news. The other day I was going to watch some little sports thing on, what was it, I guess basketball. And so I kind of half watch that and do stuff around the house. And because usually it's exciting and it shows, on how the human body can just do amazing things. And so it's uplifting. And I like that. And then Sharon came in and switched the channel just quickly, wanted to see, and there was news on. And I mean, it was, oh yeah, and this, one person shot this person, and this other person, pleaded guilty to fraud, and, all this stuff. I don't want that, so I switched it back to the game and just watch basketball players and have fun. And that's not going to help me at all, are any of those thoughts, but that is where I am guided now, to where I'm guided away from the TV. I'm guided away from ornery people. I'm guided away from the things I don't want. And so the beauty is I'm guided to the uplifting people, to the harmonious people. I'm guided to more thriving business. I just delivered, I shared with you last week that I decided I'm not going to do anything because, again, this operation I feel great, but I'm not supposed to lift anything more than 10 pounds for another 3 weeks. So my only challenge is to keep me down, if you will, and to slow down. So I just slowed down and I said, I want to increase my income. And so I did, and I increased my income by at least 25% just by thinking about, hey, my business, what I can do, and then I increased my income. So, this is just so fun. It's so easy. And then this past week with this opportunity I just shared with you about Esther, that increased my income also. And it's like, this is such fun, and that because with my coaching, I either do a monthly fee or I do a percentage of 15% of whatever the commissions are. And so that way I don't make any money till you do. And we're both really vested in it, even though I'm invested in you guys and want nothing more than to know you're good and to help you to realize your abundance and to build that thriving empire of yours, that thriving business of yours. So, so back to these feelings of what I don't want. It's resisting your good. It's resisting God. It literally is resisting your source, and it's resisting your full intent. So within you, there's an inner being, okay, that understands your full intent and why you came here and what you want to do. And it wasn't to, make a lot of money or whatever, that it was to feel better, okay, to expand all that is. And so your full intent is your preferences. And you go through this life, you identify what your preferences are. And so as we look at the bottom of this emotional scale of what you don't want, it is when you are feeling disempowered. And so how many times do you remember when you have felt disempowered and how that made you feel? And you felt the worst. It was bad. Also in there is fear, false evidence appearing real. And note that this is one of the primary committee members. So this is an emotional, vibrational universe that we live in. You are emotional, that you get what you want when you're up on that high-flying saucer. I like calling it a high-flying saucer. I'm going to get on my high-flying saucer today, okay? Or that note that when you're at the bottom of the scale of all of life, it's when you feel disempowered, when you feel fear, false evidence appearing real, when you feel unworthy. Again, I love that. Oprah gets it, that she said that because you were born, you're worthy. Exactly. We created ourselves out of our energy and our intention of we wanted to live in this beautiful world, this beautiful place we call planet Earth, and we wanted to be happier, to experience more happiness, and for our dreams to come true, and to experience more freedom, and to grow all that is. That's why we're here. And so, but when you're at this emotional scale that of unworthiness, if you feel unworthy, you're at the worst level of it. So you want to get out of that, and that you have the power in this present moment to get out of it. And how powerful and amazing and wonderful that is, that you have this power in order in this present moment to start feeling good. So another one, and so we're working up the emotional scale. So it's getting better, but it's still under the resistance scale. So there's guilt, there's shame, committee members, right? There's despair. There's anger. Now, this is a good one that, so I'm a behavioral psychologist also, and one of my fellow colleagues, virtually all of them, that they'll sit you on a couch for a couple of years and continue to dig up all this bad stuff, thinking that it's going to be good. And remember that, and maybe you want to write down, whatever I place my attention on grows. So if I'm placing my attention on the bad stuff that happened to me in my life, that it's going to just attract more bad stuff happening to me in my life. So a lot of people, as psychologists, will sit people on the couch for a year or two or whatever, and if they get angry, they go, oh, don't get angry now, come on now, and they put them right back down to being disempowered. So anger actually is a good thing. It is freeing. It is a way out, a path out of this despair. And so angry is actually good because it's working your way up the emotional scale, going to the allowing point of the emotional scale. This is also worry. And so there's nothing to worry about. I'm telling you, everything is okay. And remember, all of these feelings create more distance between you and what you desire. So by you worrying about not having enough business, keeps you from having enough business. So it's like today, just decide, I'm giving up all this. I'm giving up this disempowerment, this fear, this worry, this despair. There's none of this other than the only enemy is me, and that I've created this in my own mind. Everything is fine. But if you want to try to argue with me and you can show me evidence why it's not, but I'm telling you, you're not going to feel good at all about that. So why don't you give up that battle and start giving your permission in order to be that deliberate creator that you are. Concern is on this. Again, we're working out doubt. So when you doubt it, it's keeping you away from what you want. Why not ask for it and then expect it? And that's why when I ask and I didn't receive and we say, where's my stuff? That's doubt. You're questioning it. Okay? And you can't be asking that because you have that desire, it's on its way. I have fun little things that I do, all kinds of fun desires. So I have created all kinds of it manifested. I'm a master at manifesting, so I've manifested all kinds of desires. And I travel the world. I'm going to Russia next month. I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. I was just invited to Vegas in June. That, just all kinds of wonderful things. So I have wonderful desires, but I have way more desires. That's what we were born for, okay, to have birth-born desires. So one of them is winning $56 million. I was given that number, $56 million in the lottery, and allowing millions of dollars to flow into my experience. And so I just have fun with that. And that when I go and I buy, like $2 of lottery tickets, and I only buy lottery tickets when it's close to that $56 million, because that's not an accurate number they give you. So I figure, I'm going to win $56 million. And I actually was inspired on this idea with a lady that I think hers was like $70 million. And so she never played the lottery till it was exactly $70 million. And then she played it, bought one ticket, and she won $70 million. And that was after about 3 years of her just every week looking for it. But the key here is that when you still have the desire, that it's still active. You still have the vibration. It's still coming to you. So there's no reason to be disappointed. So when I check my ticket, and it says not a winner, oh, cool. That means it's still on its way. And know that all of your desires are still on its way. There is no need to be disappointed. I know it's all coming. It's in vibrational form. And when I allow it in, it will come in. And then negative expectancy and negative emotion. Okay, that all this is on that emotional scale that tips it to what you don't want. And this process has helped now you turn from the things that you don't want, and you literally are in the process of turning to the things that you do want. You're literally starting to take back your power and take back your magnetism, the magnet that you are, and realize that with my thoughts and with my emotions and with my source, that I can have it all. You can have your cake and eat it too. You can even have the frosting on it and not get fat. And so it's done to you as you believe. So if you think the frosting makes you fat, then it's going to make you fat. And most of us think that. And so thus we do. So negative expectancy, that if you expect, well, I doubt that's going to happen, and you're feeling negative about anything on any subject, that not only is keeping that one subject away from you, but it is keeping everything a little bit further away from you. Because remember, cooperative components come, and so if you're doubting that you can have one thing, that runs into the other things that you desire, and it's all similar and all it comes together. And that's where you want to think about crossing the line now of, so we emotionally, if you will, we're just about at the top of this, that work is another a thing to say. Work, that just get that out of your vocabulary, that you're here to play. You're here to enjoy yourself. Lighten up. Let go. If you read my encouragement this week, it was about that I'm going to just lighten up, and I'm going to be like a bobber in the water, and I'm going to release that bobber in the water, let it float to the top. So imagine you being that bobber. You're holding yourself down from your desires. The top of the water is a stream of abundance, and you want to start flowing down that stream, that easy stream. No more work. And this is resistant thoughts. So I want you at this point to think of yourself of moving across that barrier, that emotional scale, the only barrier that you have created, this barrier. And so all of us have an average of emotions. So our average of emotions are that for most people, they're at about 40%. So they're at where concern is there. That's where most people hang out with their overall composition of their emotions, is at that 40%. And what this process has done is helped you to awaken that you can overcome that, and you can start now moving across the bridge over to the bridge of allowing emotions. So we're going to just take 2 minutes, a quick little break, just kind of refreshing yourself. Just think about, man, I can't wait to get to these allowing emotions because that's where I'm headed. That's where I'm going. And as I allow that the heavens part. So let's take 2 minutes. All right, we're back. And so uh, here we go on that. So this is like probably where most of us have been taught to be, actually. We have had doubt and concern. You got to work hard and things unexpectedly happen that are bad, and all this stuff that, hey, it's just, and they proved it to you. They showed it in their lives, because whatever you say and you believe in, and it's going to happen, and so they proved it to you. So you say, hey, but that happened to them. Well, yeah, but why do you want that to happen to you? So that's why you don't, and that's why you're in this class in the perfect time to be at a place where you recognize that, wow, these emotions here that are on the screen, and I'm not going to go on this guilt and shame and despair and anger and worry, and instead I'm crossing the bridge now to my good and the things that I do want. So this is the emotional scale of what I do want. And it's positive emotion that's telling me I'm thinking upon this subject, whatever it is, correctly, that I'm looking at this as God looks at it, that I am on track, that I am on my path. In fact, I'm on my lighted path. This is what I intended to do, is to sift through all the contrasts and find out the things that please me, the things that I want, the things that I like, and to go after it. And to go after it in this soft, easy way, and just asking for it and then expecting it. And so then allowing all the resources that I desire to help me, and knowing that you are then aligned with your source as you cross this bridge into the emotional scale of what you do want. And so at kind of the bottom of this is that, and just an overall on what you do want, it's creating what you and God want. So what does God want? God wants what you sift through and find out that you want, and then God wants to make it happen more and expand all that is. And so it's hope. And so again, hope isn't the highest emotion, but it is better than, for example, negative expectancy, that I have hope that things are going to happen, versus knowing that, hey, there's just well-being, and the things, when I ask for it, I get it, I expect it. It's grateful. And again, grateful isn't on the highest one. Appreciation more is. And the reason why that is when you say that you're grateful, it's like you didn't do it and somebody else did. And the fact is that appreciation is where you appreciate yourself and you appreciate your source for helping you co-create what you desire. You don't, so you don't make things happen. You're not the person that makes things happen. That you identify what you want to happen, and then your source makes it happen. This is where positive expectancy, positive emotion is. All of this on this emotional scale where I'm feeling good, and I'm sharing with you that the heavens part as you're on this emotional scale. This is enthusiasm, where you are enthusiastic, that you're looking forward to life, where you get out of bed on the right side of the bed, that you go to the island of the people that are uplifting and harmonious and loving and kind and generous, and that help you with gathering your desires, that your source gathers your desires along with all people. That's why people are so critical for the things that you want, is that they help you with your desires, but you have to call them forth and call forth that island, that you want to be on the island with the people that will help you, that will assist you, and they'll love doing it. This is where you're excited, and you're excited about life, you're excited about your future, you're excited about your business, about the future that rests before you is only going to be dictated by none other than what your current thoughts are and what your current emotions are about your future. And that's why I encourage you to think about what will be. So you want to think about what will be, that what is going to be. And as you think about what will be, that your thoughts of today create what your tomorrow is. And that's why it's so critical to start just pre-paving of what you want in your future, whether it's the future episode in your life, or the future month that you have, or just in the future of your life, a long, prosperous, and happy life. Then think about fun. I want you to have fun, to enjoy yourself. Do things that are fun. It automatically, literally opens up your path to the things of your desires by you relaxing and having fun. You don't have to be like, if you think right now, gee, I got to go make 20 phone calls because otherwise I won't have any business. I'm sharing with you, don't make the phone calls if you're not feeling good about that. Then you want to feel excited and you want to have fun in what you're doing. And as you have fun, my number one agent at Ultimate Real Estate, that guy, he just has fun. And he has a whole team of his, and he sells, I don't know, 20 homes a month, that he's just awesome. He's rocking, and he has all my books and my services, and because he recognizes, wow, I'm just going to have fun. So he enjoys it. He's out in Vegas half the time having fun. He's with his wife having fun, that he's with his clients having fun, and he just has fun, and that opens up all this opportunity. So lighten up, enjoy yourself, and just start looking at people like that, recognizing, wow, if I have fun, I can actually have the type of life that I want. And again, this is new to you as far as you haven't been taught this way. You've been taught you got to work hard. It's not going to be fun. And I'm sharing with you, if you want what you want, you got to be having fun, enjoying yourself, lightening up, and having these positive emotions, because it's sending a signal to your source. Just give me more of this good stuff. And well, part of the good stuff is what your desires are, because when you manifest your desires, you feel good. And so by you getting in this high emotional state, that it will start delivering all things to you, not just on whatever you're having fun with at the time, but all the things that you have asked for, because it's a cooperative component to you having fun, for you enjoying, for you to feel good, is by you manifesting your desires. So at the top of this line is empowerment. It's where you feel empowered, where you recognize that you are the creator. You started all with your thoughts. It is love. It is God. It is joy. It is freedom. It is you being worthy, and it is you being in a state of appreciation. So that's why in the Joy Shop, to write down what you desire, because that feels good. Okay, that's all up in the empowerment on, hey, I'm going to write down what I want. Okay, I write down my desires. And then to write down appreciation what do I appreciate in the last 24 hours? Because as you start looking at what you appreciate that you help co-create the last 24 hours, it's automatically sending a signal to the universe, I want more of it. And you will be given more of it. That's why your lives from this moment on is going to just get better and better and better. And that's why I say you prepave what you want, that you prepave in your joy shop, that, hey, I want to, love the world and cast love on the world, cast love onto others, cast love onto myself. And that by being in that high state of empowerment and love and God and joy and freedom and worth and appreciation, that you're it. You are aligned at one with your source, and then you just rendezvous with your source. And the kicker is now, and catch this, this is critical, and this is a turning point, is that when you are at this high level, that is the time where you can start asking to be guided by your source, guided by God, into even greater feelings. Because remember how creation works? I shared with you it's thought that then goes to the emotions. Well, the way that God will make things better for you is by offering yourself and asking for not thoughts, but for feelings from your source, reaching for greater feelings from your source. When you get that more inspired feeling, that will then lead to, it's just kind of the opposite. We go from thinking to feeling. God goes from feeling to thinking. So by reaching out and asking for a better feeling, that you will then get the better feeling, and you'll get and reach for a better thought, a better good feeling thought that will lead you continually on to a happier and happier path. So if you understand that point, that you have the power, especially in the Joy Shop, to be on that top line there of empowerment, love, God, joy, freedom, worthy appreciation, as you're at that top line, that you can then ask for and be given even greater and better emotions, energy, love, and that you will be given it to source. Source will guide you, and that's why you, a servant to source, to do God's will. This is God's will, that God wants you to reach to that next feeling, to expand all that is, and God will give you those feelings. And that will then again correspond into thoughts, and then you're on your lighted path and all of your desires come forth. That this is an abundant world. There are now 1,600 billionaires, okay? And by the way, about 10% of those billionaires are now women. That where'd this money come from? It's an abundant world, okay? There are tens of thousands of millionaires. There weren't any 100 years ago. Where's it all coming from? It's coming from your thought, from our thought. And so as you think you want more, your source gives you more. And by you asking for more of these good feelings, you'll be given more good feelings that will give you more good thoughts, that will give you more good health, that will give you more business, that will give you more happiness and joy and appreciation and worthiness and everything that you meant to have. So that, my friends, is like the answer to everything. It never stops. It continues to grow because God, the mantra for God, is more. And so it's a beautiful world. It means you get more forever. So that's the good news, that you have the ability to get more good forever. And that's how it is. And so by understanding this powerful point of emotions and how you can be led by emotions, by your source, that then takes you to a place that some call heaven, that a place of the abundance to the place of where all your desires are residing, and they will come powerfully, powerfully to you. Amen to that. Like, this is good news, and you should be just excited as all get out, because this is the answer. I'm telling you, this is what takes people to the next level, to expand all that is, to expand their imagination, to expand their thinking, but most, and starting from expanding their feelings. And this is a state of allowing. And so I ask every day to be in a pure state of allowing. And as you do, you're going to sell more. That I have heard, we have literally have incremental millions of dollars of more business and more referrals and more referral partners than we ever had 5 weeks ago. And it's all because you have done the allowing. So when I talked to Esther, and her whole life, she became, a six-figure girl, I call her now, and she probably will be earning like over $200,000 a year, and she did it all within 2 weeks, okay? Why is that? That she was allowing. And to understand that what I provide is I provide the influence, but you get all the credit. And so for you that have embraced this and understood this and are starting to allow all this goodness in, that you get all the credit. And so that's why we have millions of more that I guided you there, but it's your path, and you are now on your path. And I can share with you that people that go through this process, that most of them go back to their old path after a couple months, that couple weeks, that they go back to their old path. And one of the reasons why I have my coaching is to help you to stay and influence you to stay on this magnificent path. And as you get it, and some people get it and they're off and they're running and they don't need my coaching services. And for that, that is just great, because I am here. I am a servant to those that are looking to be on that lighted path and to have more of their desires. So how to expand your emotions. And a way to expand your emotions is, number one, to ask. So in the Joy Shop, if you will ask to expand your imagination, okay? And that will help to expand your thinking and your emotions. To ask to go beyond where your thoughts have been. It's kind of like Star Trek. Don't they have the opening or something like that, and to go where no man has been before, or something like that? Well, this is for you to go beyond where your thoughts have been. And it's way more powerful than any Star Trek or any movie. That it's you and your experience and the important, valuable person that you are, vibrational being that you are, that expands all that is. And so ask to go beyond with your thoughts, ask to go beyond with your feelings, and ask to be led by your source. So becoming a master at manifesting. And so that's an affirmation. I am a master at manifesting what I want. That is being a deliberate creator. Allow yourself to be led by your emotions. And say this, that I let go of my mind and beliefs. So if you will let go of your mind and your beliefs and allow the impulsive signals from my source to guide me and to lead me to even better feelings, better thoughts, and the manifestations of what I want. So that is like a great sentence for you. And again, I'll give you this over there, that, you'll have this through YouTube, where you can have that. But if anything, to allow yourself to be led, and what it is to let go of my mind and beliefs and allow the signals of my source to lead me through feelings. Because your source, again, you're the one that calls it all. You say, this is what I want, this is what I prefer, this is what pleases me, and then your source will guide you. And the way that your source communicates with you is through your emotions. So now you're understanding the whole puzzle of life, that how it works on your end is thoughts to your feelings, and how it works But God's end, your source end, is feelings, and those feelings then will impact your thoughts, and it'll expand all that is. So your success steps, that I'm going to send you a EQ assessment, and that I would suggest that you go through that EQ assessment. And it has things like, for example, your intuition, that men are supposedly don't have the intuition that women have. That's only because men have been told basically in our society to cut off their emotions. Don't go to chick flicks. I love going to chick flicks. I love crying. That I love showing my emotions because I know how powerful those emotions are, and I love expressing my emotions. So this EQ assessment will help you to change the way that you've been led to believe about those things. Oh, don't go by your gut feeling. Don't go by your intuition. That is the signal that's pulsating from your source, and to go with it, you'll see that it'll all work out way better than you ever imagined. Listen to this recording at least 6 times, that it has the information on how for you to, and new thoughts and ideas. And I know that it's touched your minds and your hearts and your souls, and that you're really starting to get this, and that you have turned yourself now to your desires. And Christ said, turn the other cheek. That's what this is turning your other cheek. Instead of the things you don't want, turn your cheek to the things that you do want, and raise that vibration up to allowing thoughts, allowing feelings, and being led through your feelings. That do your joy shop every morning. And so for those of you that aren't going to move forward with coaching, with my Platinum coaching, that includes, by the way, that time management system that's awesome and saves 3 weeks a year, and my meditations and a bunch of things come with that. But make sure you do your joy shop that every morning, and to mix it up. And I have other joy shops that I can give you, because we will have a tendency to get bored, and you want to keep this exciting. And so I have other joy shops that I can send you. So if you are joining my Platinum coaching, I need your coaching application. And then I'll be in touch with you guys on that. And then I want to, before I say thank you, that I want to share with you, and I'll be sending this to you separately, but it's called Today is My Awakening. And so in the next couple minutes, I just want you to sit back, to relax, breathe deeply in, and just relax. And if you're not driving, that you can close your eyes. Just go within and just feel the magnificence of who you are, and that all is well. And know that today is my awakening. I have now blossomed myself into a place with the importance of how I feel. Life is a feeling and vibrational experience that I now embrace and immerse myself in. I have moved my experience from thinking into feeling with my source. I understand and now reside on the high-flying vibration and the magnitude of my awakening. I am now in a position with more clarity, confidence, and knowing that all is well and getting better for me on every breath. I now reach for things that before I would not allow myself or give myself permission to think about, to feel, or to dream about. I now have the power and the ability to cast abundance and love on myself and this world. Nothing is off limits, for I now realize that I am limitless, and I allow myself to go to this place of my awakening and the deliberate creator for which I am. So with that, I thank you all. I have loved our time together. I look forward to playing together with you, rendezvousing with Source, and enjoying this good life, and knowing, and you know, that all is getting better and better now, as you are a deliberate creator and a top performer. I love you all. Bye-bye.